And we're back at the Master Chief Collection title screen. This collection sure is the Masterfully Chief Collection. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're playing Halo 3.
Yeah.
You tried.
I did.
Yeah. Like we said, we're finishing the fight.
And then we'll never play another Halo game again. I would
Finishing the fight.
And we'll never play another Halo game again.
There is, in fact, a video on this channel already called Finish the Fight.
Well, there might end up being two named that. I don't know. I don't name this shit. I have not tested the audio for this game at all, so I have no idea what we're going to get out of this.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck.
I mean, I guess you need that as much as anything else in war.
Yeah.
So if it's not clear, he came hurtling out of a piece of that ship. He was just him and a piece of metal.
This ain't good.
And survived re-entry.
How far did he fall?
2 kilometers. Easy.
Stay sharp.
Good thing he's got that armor.
What do you mean? Look at him, man. He's toasted.
Gorman? His armor's locked up. Gel layer could have taken most of the impact. I don't know, Sergeant Major.
Radio for VTOL. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving them here.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, crazy fool. Why do you always jump? One of these days, you're gonna land on something as stubborn as you are. And I don't do bits and pieces. Where is she, Chief? Where's Cortana?
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
She stayed behind.
Corporal, make it quick.
Sorry, sir. Your armor's still in partial lockdown. Look up here, sir.
Remember when I mentioned back in Halo 1 that the series gets subtly more emotional as time goes on?
Now down.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't exactly as subtle as I wanted to say it was.
Everything checks out, Sergeant Major.
Kick off the training wheels, Corporal. He's good to go. Chief, wait! The arbiter's with us! Come on now. We've got enough to worry about without you two trying to kill each other.
Were it so easy.
Bitch.
And they must love the smell of green.
This game goes for a flashy introduction. Ruined entirely by this fucking loading screen!
You said this was the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Squad, you're my scout.
That checks out.
Move out.
Yeah, but the original loading screen was something more atmospheric, if I recall.
Oh, no, I meant it checks out because I noticed we're back to in-engine cutscenes, but it's significantly better than the in-engine cutscenes in the previous 2 games.
Oh, yes. Now, it's not fair to compare them to what we were watching in the last game because those were animated by a major studio, but still, these are some nice-looking cutscenes.
Yeah.
No,
And, like, recently at that for those cutscenes into.
Yeah.
Like, recently animated.
2014.
Not as recently as I thought.
Still a lot more recent than this. 7 years.
Yeah.
I still think this game looks great. For what it's worth. The human models, maybe not so much, but this environment and the gun models, somehow it
The
straddles.
human models are still, like, a lot better than they were before this.
It's true.
We stick together, we'll get spotted. Split up. Meet back at the LZ.
But this environment,
You're with me.
I love the lighting, just the way it hits just certain spots. They were flexing a little bit with this game. Also, we're back to a handgun that actually matters. It's not as good as it was in Halo 1, but
It makes sense they were flexing too, because I mean, from my limited understanding, if I'm not mistaken, it's a kind of thing where like the Xbox went through a thing of not really knowing what its identity was when it launched, and not really having a dedicated mascot. And then like by the time they were like putting out the Xbox 360, Master Chief was kind of the icon of Xbox and is like the system seller.
this was a launch title. This was the 360 launch title, the launch title.
Yes.
Like, Halo 1 launched not long after the original Xbox and became the system seller. This was made to be the system seller. I mean, so was Halo 2, but this game in particular was selling, like, a whole new
This
system.
is why people bought 360s.
Fun fact. The blind skull is here. This turns off your HUD. I'm not going to pick it up, but it sure is here.
That's neat. I think the 360 as a console did better for variety, though, than the original Xbox did, from what I've seen. Not actually owning one, even.
What do you mean by variety?
Of games and genres and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Just like off the top of my head, I was thinking about the fact that the original US release of Tales of Vesperia was the 360 exclusive.
Just give me 1 second here. There's a...
When we are victorious,
No? That...
who serve the province will be punished.
It's not what I wanted. This is what I want. Game? Okay, forget it. Apparently I don't know this game as well as I thought I did. Anyway, yeah. I would say that's mostly accurate.
Sleepers. Take them up nice and quiet.
The original Xbox didn't have a lot in the way of, like, not third-party... Like, there weren't a lot in the way of first-party sellers for the original Xbox, really. There were things that tried to be, but I think Halo is one of the few, like, standouts.
Run for your life. It's a nightmare.
Mind you, this is in massive hindsight, and I don't really remember if I might be missing something. I just can't think of anything else that, like, was an Xbox original, like an original Xbox exclusive that stayed an original Xbox exclusive. So, to be fair, that's a problem that Microsoft's just kind of had. Like, Mass Effect was an Xbox exclusive until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And these days, they basically don't have exclusives anymore because everything that they drops on PC.
I can think of a few more games that were on the original Xbox that I wanted to play because they seemed cool, but I didn't get to because I didn't have an Xbox. And compared to Halo, every one of those other cases is a lot more niche. Also, one of them I heard didn't even end up being that good anyway.
There's a couple of cases where the Xbox version of a game was like the superior version or an enhanced edition. Like, I believe to this day, the best way to play Onimusha, the first one, is still the Xbox version.
Yeah.
I think even the updated re-release is missing the Xbox version content.
Sometimes it's just...
Also, it had the, I believe it was the Ninja Gaiden reboot series was exclusive to the Xbox at the time, or for a long time. And that's a pretty good series.
Sounds
right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the closest second is that series to me, because that's a really good series.
Yeah, I did hear good things about that one.
Hard as hell, but really good. Oh, by the way.
Sacrifice me to complete your mission? Could you watch me die?
Subtle. My precious assault rifle's back. And it's a 32 round magazine now! These bastards!
What's wrong, Jake?
The assault rifle and battle rifle is basically my combination of choice.
Yeah, the reboot Ninja Gaiden came out in 2004, and it didn't get like a PS3 version until 3 years later.
And while it wasn't an exclusive, the 360 was the way to play Bayonetta for a very long time.
Yeah, I heard the PS3 version was kind of bad.
It's got frame rate issues out the ass. Ooh, that was a good nade. Bring it! Oh, let's go!
I've still never played Bayonetta. I would get the Switch version, but I have the Wii U version, and I heard that the Switch version's not enough of an improvement over that version to be a big deal.
Well, I agree in theory. Anything that stops me from having to play the Wii U is an improvement.
The Banshees will return.
And the Switch version is chef's kiss. I prefer it over the PC version.
My bird's down. Half a click down from your position.
It would be more convenient to have the Switch version, but at the current point in time, I'd rather save the money and just deal with the hassle of hooking up the Wii U if I want to play it.
So the Arbiter is an AI buddy. He's also, if you're playing co-op, he's the co-op character. In previous titles,
nice.
the co-op player would just play as a clone of the Master Chief. But in this game, you get to play as the Arbiter. If you player 2. If he's AI,
I did that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really cool. If you're AI, then he can't die. He can get knocked down, but he gets up again. Lyrics not intended.
He's on a killing spree.
This is the Halo game that I played the most multiplayer of. Nothing to add to that comment, I just thought it was interesting.
This is the point in the series where I have literally zero exposure to anything that's in this game.
Oh, you're in for
pretty
a
much
ride.
any future games.
You're in for a ride from this point, my friend. Oh, suicide grunts, for example.
Oh.
Sometimes when grunts are pushed to their breaking point, they'll pull out 2 plasma grenades, stick them to their own hands, and run at you.
Damn.
It might not be a 60-round magazine, but I only need 32 bullets anyways. I will always miss the first game's 60-round mag assault rifle. What kind of...
I gotta say that like push to their brink thing kind of like it makes sense too. It's like if you know the demon is here and you can tell that it's at this point that you're gonna die anyway, you might as well try to take him with you.
It's true.
Yeah.
Sniper rifle, take sniper rifle.
Right there! I'm coming!
Like that. Like the other 2 Halo games, weapons are more of a toolbox than a series of things to kill with.
Through the cave.
So, if you wonder about my weapon choices, it's all in regards to it being a toolkit.
And you have to try and pick the best tools for the level in question.
Yep.
See how they bait their trap? I will help you spring it.
That showed him.
So now, brutes with hammers are just a standard enemy type. Yes, they will still kill you in 1 hit. Personal suggestion, don't fuck around. Because they don't. There you are. Woo! Nice teamwork, Arbiter.
Quick, it's him!
I think it's kind of evident that this game is easily... I was about to compliment you. And then you go throwing grunts through boxes. This game is the most polished and smoothest of the experiences, almost immediately so. Out of the original trilogy, of course.
That makes sense, because the first one is the first one, and the second one had to be thrown together in 9 months.
Or a time frame similar to that. I might be off with those numbers. I don't actually... I remember it being 9 months, but maybe I'm wrong. It's an otherwise ridiculously short amount of time.
Yes. Like, the fact it didn't, like, melt everyone's Xboxes was a miracle in and of itself.
This game got its full 3 years, though.
This isn't as fun as it looks. Cut the power.
So, fun fact, I think these other guys, besides Johnson, will be dead if you're a Rusty Marine survive.
Long as we're only counting today. Kilo 2-3, what's your ETA? Roger that, Hocus. Friendly gunship coming in hot.
And of course, in terms of polish, this game also benefits just from the better technology.
It's true. So the whole Covenant Civil War thing has clearly taken hold and stayed in effect. Elites are nowhere to be seen besides the Arbiter. Elites have taken their role in the gameplay to the point where they're just a slightly spongier elite in terms of gameplay in this one. Kind of a bummer that
Makes sense for the story.
Kind of a bummer that from a gameplay perspective they didn't make a unique role for the brutes to fill. But from the story perspective, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, but I'm kind of assuming that this is a case where, because this is a 360 game, this is just kind of everything is in a higher resolution now, but not actually like completely redone.
Yeah. They did not, besides allowing for like PC size resolutions, nothing here is redone. Besides being completely ruined with loading, with awful loading screens. Where's my atmosphere? My atmosphere.
Yeah, you might want to put on your seatbelt, sir.
IFF confirmed. Contact is Pelican dropship, Kilo 2-3, over.
You just got a dude with a rocket launcher on ready.
Sorry for the tight squeeze. Tell the commander her ace is in the hole.
Hey, check it out. No way. A Spartan? For real. You better not be. Oh man, he's here. We're gonna be
Where did you find him?
Napping, out back.
I'll bet. It's good to see you, Chief.
Likewise, ma'am.
Let's get you up to speed. The Prophet of Truth's ships breached the lunar perimeter, smashed what was left of the home fleet. Terrestrial casualties from the subsequent bombardment were extreme. Truth could have landed anywhere, but he committed all his forces here, East Africa, the ruins of New Mombasa. Then they started digging.
What about Halo?
We stopped it, but only temporarily. Now the Prophet of Truth is looking for something called the Ark, where he'll be able to fire all the Halo rings. If he succeeds, humanity, the Covenant, every sentient being in the galaxy.
The rings will kill us all.
In case you needed a reminder.
Patch him through.
Good news, Commander Keyes?
Good as it gets, sir.
So I see. What's your status, son?
Green, sir.
Glad to hear it. Commander's come up with a good plan, but without you, I wasn't sure we could pull it off.
Truth's ships are clustered above the excavation site, and his infantry has deployed anti-aircraft batteries around the perimeter. But if we neutralize one of the batteries, punch a hole in Truth's defenses...
I'll initiate a low-level strike. Hit him right where it hurts. I only have a handful of ships, Master Chief. It's a big risk, but I'm confident.
Well,
Emergency generators, now!
Shielding failed. They're down and charging.
As soon as they're up, re-establish contact with Lord Hood. Let him know.
All of you vermin, cowering in the dirt, thinking, what, I wonder, that you might escape the coming fire? No, your world will burn until its surface is but glass, and not even your demon will live to creep, blackened from its hole to mar the reflection of our passage, the culmination of our journey. For your destruction is the will of the gods, and I am their instrument.
Cocky bastard just loves to run his mouth.
Does he usually mention me?
Give the order. We're closing shop.
Ma'am?
We're about to get hit.
All personnel.
They're wounded.
Code Alpha
We're getting all of them
prepare
out.
for immediate evacuation.
I have to carry him myself.
Ma'am, squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
I hate this line.
To war.
Yeah, but ma'am, the ships actually need a place to go. Ma'am.
We just lost the perimeter.
Motion trackers?
They're down or we're not receiving. Can't tell.
I love how she walks up the stairs and walks back fucking down.
Wait, Overwatch's contacts.
Any birds less than 5 minutes out? Bring them in. Tell everything else to scatter.
Aye.
No,
Some
seriously
models
though.
look better than others. It gets a little rougher when they're up close in the cinematic cutscenes.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I can't stand that line. They need a rally point. Where do we send them? To war. Yeah, but no, seriously, they need a fucking rally point.
Rally point, ma'am. Where do we send them, please?
Says could use your help. Follow me, sir.
Perimeter's this way.
Yep, I know.
Come on, sir. I'll show you the way. The base was built as a 20th century war. Full of old tech, like these door controls.
Man, please, you're not a teenager trying to sound cool.
Watch your fields of fire.
So in Halo 3, Miranda Keyes' voice actress was replaced, and I don't remember by who.
Hangar sergeant.
Agreed. Master Chief, get there.
We're with you, Chief.
And the Prophet of Truth's voice actor was replaced with Terrence Stamp, who is a big actor who, if you watch movies, you've probably seen him in something. But I also can't remember anything he's been in off the top of my head, which is...
Fire teams are spread thin. Can't hold out forever. I need that hangar clear for evac ASAP.
For what it's worth, I prefer Truth's voice in the second game, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I noticed the change with his voice more immediately and more dramatically, and didn't really like the new voice as much, but I thought the previous voice was pretty fitting of his character.
Yeah, me too.
I think the new one's a little too deep. Keith David's back as the Arbiter, Steve Downes is still Master Chief, Jen Taylor is still Cortana, for her weird flashback things.
Getting a little Dead Space in here.
Getting a little Dead Space in here. Like the flesh-absorbing fungi monsters weren't Dead Space enough. David Scully is still Sergeant Johnson. You can hear John DiMaggio as some of the brutes, so that's fun. Nope, no, I made a bad choice.
Wipe those bastards off the deck!
You'll also catch Nolan North as Marine voice number whatever. In particular, if I die again and you hear it, wipe those bastards off the deck, is Nolan North.
Look out! There's more!
That last cinematic cutscene had a single line from just whatever soldier that I swear that guy was like doing his best Solid Snake impression.
Reinforcement!
You can also hear cameos from people like Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion in this game. Sci-fi actors.
I'm actually really familiar with Nathan Fillion.
Aren't we all?
He was also in a procedural crime show.
Castle?
Yep.
Yeah, I watched most of that. More of that than I really had any right to, or any reason to. Not that it was bad, I just had... Procedural crime dramas aren't really my thing, so I don't know why I watched as much of that as I did.
I saw all of it. I haven't watched any other procedural crime shows. I don't know if I would be interested, but I enjoyed that one. And my family liked it too, so it was fun to watch it together.
Sure.
Slide.
Oh, shit.
Never change, Halo. Never change.
That's Alan Tudyk right there. How'd you like this, huh? He was on Firefly with Nathan Fillion. Amongst... Ah! And that was, Alec Baldwin. Not Alec. Alex? Fuck, I can't remember anymore. A Baldwin. But not like one of the Baldwins. Just a guy whose last name is Baldwin.
I'm not remember where else I recently heard Nathan Fillion that I was not expecting him. I somewhat recently, for the first time, even though that animated movie's old at this point, I finally watched the Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox, and for some reason Nathan Fillion was the Green Lantern.
Those movies have a lot of those folks just in it. A lot of those
Attention.
sci-fi and TV actors.
Barracks are under attack. All available combat teams respond. Anyone in the barracks, I need a sit rep now.
Sir, this way.
Nolan North right there.
Look! Coming out of the vents! Line them up! Line them up!
Take them down! Short control first!
Drones inbound.
Great kill, sir!
Yeah, the drones are back and they're still annoying. Same gimmick.
Don't let up!
Don't let up, homie. There's one left. Two left. Alright, three left.
If I try to hook up a timer, it might go off all by itself.
Johnson,
There's Nathan Fillion.
you might want to put that out. Chief, have a look. A little going-away gift for the Covenant. We've linked it to smaller charges throughout the base. Johnson, soon as the evacuation is complete, start the timer.
Understood.
Good luck, everyone. See you on the last Pelican out.
Follow me, Chief.
You want to see something cool? Anyway, there's Marines trapped in the barracks. You heard the announcements earlier. The barracks are under attack. And if there's one thing we do... Oh, what the fuck?
Oh.
Yo! Millie, I'm insane. Hello. Yo, I can't believe I made that fucking shot. What the fuck was that?
What a good game to do that in, too. This is like the era of MLG clips, right?
Yeah, I should have played an air horn noise.
You have been called upon to serve.
Use you like they used me. Protect their lives.
This is the ground birthday party skull. We already have it turned on, but, you know. I don't know, whatever. I have a skull. Come down here and fight me, coward. Yeah, you can't.
You're too spooky and scary.
Hey, Arbiter.
The brutes have taken your soldiers. As prisoners or meat for their bellies, I do not know. In case some yet live, let us be careful when we shoot.
Millie. What are you chewing on? What are you chewing on, huh? Yeah, it's just your bone? Thought it might be my PlayStation controller. That was Nathan Fillion. That was Nolan North dying. New grenade type, spike grenade. It's a brute grenade. It sticks to people all the same, but it's also really good for, say, trying to hit a shot around a corner, because it fires in an arc when it goes off.
All the benefits of plasma grenade while also having shrapnel like a normal grenade.
And fitting the brute design theme of, wow, that's brutal. Pun intended. Health back, please. Thank you. No, but for real, compared to Elite Covenant technology, Brute Covenant technology is like a different design philosophy. Yeah, Barbaric's a good one. It's got its own design philosophy, and I respect that. They went through great lengths to make them stand out visually. They don't just have the same sleek, shiny armor, you know? They got their own armor, style of armor and weaponry, befitting what one can assume their culture is like. Ah! I want this demon as a trophy. Oh man.
No! Please!
Right there! Frag out! Over here!
Thank goodness that guy had Star Wars aim.
Good timing!
I guess the term is Stormtrooper aim.
Yeah.
Potato, potato. No one can aim. It doesn't matter if they're a stormtrooper or not.
Charging!
Do a flip. They still enter. Oh, what the fuck? I thought you were dead. I was scratching my hand. Thunk.
No! Please!
Make ready.
Man, I love shotguns. Man, I hate dying. I'm playing like ass right now.
No!
Play 600 hours of a video game, all you want. Then you turn on the camera, it's all over.
Right here!
Be careful.
It does happen a lot.
Yeah.
With like everyone. The LPR's curse, or in a more culturally relevant way, the streamer's curse.
Strimmer. Oh, he threw a grenade! Oh, Jesus. Homie, chill. Damn.
You killed my tactic.
Good shield.
Top quality placement. Only the finest gameplay brought to you by the County Line Gaming channel. So to be fair, there is one comment in the Resident Evil 4 video, a grudge match, where someone said, and I quote, "Brute kicked ass" in this video, so what have you done for yourself today? What were you gonna say, Galuf?
What was I gonna say something?
I don't know, I heard a noise. I thought I heard a noise, maybe I'm losing it.
Oh yeah, they like you did so well, and they were so impressed with it. They were kind of thinking that maybe you were just gonna have an easy time the rest of that grudge match.
Tetris.
Yeah.
Yes.
They must have forgotten about that because I know they heard about Tetris happening too. Then again, they might not have realized why Tetris was going to happen.
Yeah, they might not have put together that this is where it's from.
Everybody on! That comment just made my day. It was like, Brute kicked ass in this video. I scanned through the video to see what I did, and I was like, did I? I'll take your word for it. I don't feel like I kicked ass in that video, but if you say it, it's gotta be true.
You didn't kick ass in that.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, hi, Hyper.
We beat the other one. We're on the third one now.
Hey!
Yeah. Sometimes we need people to tell us how well we did, because a lot of us here are the type to not judge our own performance in the best light.
Yeah.
I am still impressed with myself for beating that, though. Like, period.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The grudge match, RE4.
Oh no, that was impressive.
I don't know, you just said I didn't kick ass. You feel like you're flip-flopping now.
Well, I don't know what we're talking about. I thought we were talking about a different game. No, that one legitimately kicked ass. Because I would have not done that. I would have said, screw this, this is not worth it.
A quick TLDR since you missed the end of Halo 2. We chased the Prophet of Truth back to East Africa. He's digging for something, and we left Cortana on High Charity.
Gotcha. And that's where we pick up on in 3?
Yep. And the Civil War stuck. The elites are not with the Covenant, and we're fighting brutes as the primary enemy. Am I supposed to be doing something here?
I don't know what you're doing.
Master Chief's getting a bit sentimental about leaving Cortana behind too, because we've gotten some like little bits of flashes and like flashbacks that are, I've honestly kind of made me go like, sure is getting a bit Dead Space in here. Even though this predates Dead Space.
Very briefly. Dead Space came out the next year.
So for that reference, I would kind of more be referring to Dead Space 2 than to 1.
Mm-hmm.
There's gotta be a brute stuck somewhere.
I had a dumb moment where I, for a second, didn't realize that you were not, in fact, talking in a third person.
There's gotta be me stuck somewhere here.
Well, you are stuck somewhere. We just don't know where. There we go. This Joker up here.
This hooligan.
Well,
I mean, it's not quite Dead Space levels with the flashbacks, because they're just normal flashes of like conversation. It's not like the weird, trippy, possessed ghost version of.
Correct.
It's not guilt flashbacks, it's just flashbacks.
Yes.
Well, that's open to interpretation, I think.
Well, it is guilt flashbacks, but not in the same twisted sort of way.
It's not murder yourself with your own guilt in the form of a flashback kind of flashback, yeah?
Yeah.
I hope you watched the Dead Space 2 LP, or I just spoiled the shit out of it for you.
Well, I guess we may go get Cortana at some point.
We have business to deal with first. New mechanic! Ripping turrets off their hinges.
That's awesome.
It's cool as fuck. Not super practical, but very cool.
Well, you know, to utilize the old tabletop RPG adage, the rule of cool always supersedes rules as written.
Sure.
Did you mention how we found? Did you already mention how we found out that the other Halos can now be activated remotely?
Oh yes.
Oh, that's somewhere.
There's a location called the Ark that can remote activate the other Halos because one Halo failed to fire, like it tried to fire, but we stopped it, so the other ones have entered remote activation mode.
Oh, that's bad.
That is not good.
On a scale of good to bad, that is not good.
One might even call that bad.
One could, but that bad is the very bottom of the scale.
I think bad would be they've been remote launched, right?
Yes, that'd be very that might even exceed the ranking.
That would be unfortunate.
That would be we're screwed.
It's true.
Yes, and we're screwed actually is beyond bad.
You know what I just realized?
That would be I'm going back to bed.
And might as well. However you want to spend your last moments.
What'd you just realize?
You know what I just realized in terms of Halo 2 being very different and like standing out in a lot of ways? It didn't end with an escape sequence.
It did not. It had a vehicle segment, but not an escape sequence.
I wouldn't know.
There was one planned according to behind the scenes stuff, but it never
materialized.
Never made it.
It was left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I don't know if you were there when I mentioned it, Hyper, but that game was made in an incredibly tight time span.
You said it was within 9 months?
I backtracked a little bit because I realized I don't know if that's actually correct. That was just my memory.
Less than a year.
I believe so.
All right, so less than a year. That's a lot of time. That's not a lot of time to make a game.
Yeah.
Mind you, they had more time. They just started over from scratch.
In a new engine or something?
Yep.
Well, you know, they did a very good product for 9 months.
And they were dealt, I mean.
People still like Halo 2.
Halo 2's good. I still like Halo 2.
Let's see. Halo had never been planned as a trilogy, but the critical and commercial success of Combat Evolved, selling more than 5 million copies in 3 years, made a sequel expected.
Yeah, that'll certainly do it. To the right, to the right. Cortana, not now! Out of my head, I'm busy. To quote Sherlock right there. Benedict Cumberbatch. I thought that grenade would take out a lot more of them.
Me too.
It took out enough. And that's what matters.
Nothing really matters.
Nothing really matters.
Cortana.
To me.
I'm skimming this because there's a lot to be said apparently about the development of Halo 2, and there's a lot. It sounds like it was a clusterfuck, even outside of like the.
Yeah.
Restructuring of the engine meant that there was no playable build for nearly a year. Assets and environments produced by art and design teams could not be prototyped, bottlenecking development. Recall that development was moving backwards. After E3, the team realized that much of what the team had worked on for the past 2 years would have to be scrapped.
Yeah. They were working on something constantly. It's just what the end product we got was after a bunch of development and scrapping everything, which I think is...
After torching the original idea and starting over from the base.
Ooh, ultimately a third act of the game where yada yada was cut entirely, but I feel like the vague idea of that was repurposed into this plot for 3.
That's fine.
It doesn't say that it was, but what it said about what the plot, what the act that was scrapped is like not what this is, but close enough that I'm kind of like, I feel like they took that idea and repurposed it.
Yeah.
Well,
speaking of,
it makes sense because the way 2 literally ends.
Speaking of this, we'll see you next time for Salvo Highway.
And another episode of this.
The second episode of this.
This.